Welcome to another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review, and here we have a special knife, kind of almost a semi-custom knife. This is the Fernandez 52100 slicer, 185 millimeter knife, and Sean Fernandez creates these knives. And 52100 carbon steel is a high-quality reactive carbon steel made for ball bearing manufacture, but it's been adapted to kitchen knives. It does have, I think, 1% chromium in it, so it's not. It develops a patina, but it's not insanely reactive, so it develops a nice, even patina, at least in my experience. The heat treat on that is about 62 Rockwell. We're going to talk more about Sean and his heat treat. The construction is mono steel, so it's all the same material throughout. There is no cladding or layers on this. The weight on this knife with this particular handle, which could vary depending on what Mark decides to put on these, is 117 grams or 4.1 ounces. The blade length, at least on my sample, is right on the money at 185 millimeters, and the overall length was about 12.9 inches, almost 13 inches with this handle. The spine thickness at the heel coming out of the handle is 2.4 millimeters, and the blade height is 41.4 millimeters. The handle on this is an octagonal semi-custom Chef Knives to Go handle, which is Wenge and a maple ferrule. And the handle circumference is a bit oversized on this, but that's an intentional design feature, which I'll talk about. 80 millimeters is the circumference right here at the ferrule main part of the handle junction. And let me tell you, Sean knows his shiitake mushrooms when it comes to blade grinds and also 52100 heat treat. The grind on this thing is just awesome. It's let's take a close-up look at it. Sean knows what he wants out of a knife, and he's done enough knife videos and done a lot of performance videos, and he knows grinds, and he knows what he wants the knife to do. I want you to look at the distal taper on this. It just has a fabulous distal taper that's just continuous to a really thin tip, which just pops through stuff like you wouldn't believe. And the knife isn't super thin, but it's got enough thickness to it, and it's not super thick, it's just kind of right in between, that he has enough room for a bit of convex grind to it to help food release. And here is Sean's etch. He's got a nice etching system now, and so you get the Fernandez mark and also what steel the knife is made from. Sean does a great job of polishing up the spine and the choil neck area. And his out-of-the-box edge is stellar. We've seen Sean sharpen on video. Say that 3 times fast. And he knows his stuff on sharpening as well, of course. So this had at least a good 7, maybe 8 out of 10 edge on it out of the box. Just a stellar edge out of the box. Great job on that. The heat treat, let's talk about that. Sean's heat treat is really good. He has worked diligently with a lot of experimentation to bring his heat treat in-house. And so he's doing his own heat treat. He triple tempers these. He's got some posts on Chef Knives to Go in his forum where he details some of the path he's taken on learning and some of the details of what he does for his heat treat on 52100. So he has taken time to really learn this steel, and he does an awesome job with the heat treat on this. So you're guaranteed great heat treat with this steel. So this is a slicer, but it does have enough height to it to allow you to do some board work. So what he's got is a kind of a low belly on it. The point is rather low in line with the knife, so this is not a rocker. I can't get very tall on it without hitting the tip into the board, digging it in a little bit, so that's not the purpose. It is a slicer, but it does have a little bit of a flat section at the heel, so you could do some on-board work with this. I think it might make a nice line knife. You definitely have a small tip for detail work on things like shallots and such. And also trimming meats, silver skins, it works really good for that. And of course, it's a slicer. It's not a 270 Tsuji, but it's meant to be more compact. The other thing that Sean wanted me to tell you about was I asked him about the width of the neck on this, which is fairly wide, and he kind of intended this more to the American audience where they're used to maybe Western handles, handles, where they just go right into the knife back. And so he wanted something with more width and meat on it for that kind of style handle, and this is the result. So he's got a fairly wide neck, which necessitates a little bit wider handle to fit that. So it definitely has a good solid feel in the hand. It's light, but it's got a good, like I said, purchase or grip for it. So just a super nice knife. If you're looking for a line knife with awesome steel, superb grind, just great heat treat, think about one of these. This is the Fernandez 5200 slicer, 185 millimeter knife.